All right, guys, I'm here to tell you why you need to play Draft Rugby in 2025-2026. And I'm going to explain exactly what Draft Rugby is, so then that way those that have never played before know what they're in for. Think of the way that you played fantasy sports in the past, where you have budgets, everyone buys the same key players, and then you play against the rest of the world, and those 1, 2, or 3 unique players that you have need to have a big game for you to have a chance to do well. Well, this is completely different. Instead, you're going to have a private or public league with a select group of people. You might play against 7, 8, 10 other managers, and then each week you're going to go head-to-head with one of them. So we're trying to make fantasy sports reflect far more closely what you're used to with regular sport. So you have a league with your managers. Round 1, I'm going to go head-to-head with my best mate or my brother or some bloke I met down the street that actually loves rugby union. And our teams are going to go against each other. My squad of 15 with my benchies there as reserves if needed. His squad of 15 with his benchies. And then they're all going to collect their points from the game week. Whoever comes out on top with the most total points wins. That win goes towards a table. I'm going to get 4 points for the win, none for the loss, or maybe 2 for a draw in the odd occasion that happens. There's also attacking and losing bonus points up for grabs as well. Once we go through like that, each week playing a different individual member, you'll have your rival scores against who you out of your mates you've beaten that year, who out of your mates you've lost to that year, so we continue to create those passionate rivalries, so the game's far more personal, far more interactive, and you go so much harder because you just never want to lose head-to-head against one of your good mates. At the end of the year, you're going to have your whole competition table. The man or woman with the most points is going to be your league champion. That means you can create your own Champions Cup. Maybe it's a trophy or a championship ring, however you want to celebrate. And you can create a loser as well, a loser's punishment. We create a wooden spoon that the name is engraved on, and a punishment that they might have to go and do as well. The actual ownership of players is probably the most interesting part and most different part of draft. So there's no budget. Players aren't worth a certain amount of money. Instead, we do an initial draft at the start of the year where we take turns drafting from the first picked manager to the last picked manager, and then it snakes all the way back from the last pick back to the first again. And each round you'll pick your next draft pick, just like what you might have seen in, let's say, like American football or the NBA, or when they're doing their drafts through the preseason. Each round, players are obviously going to get selected, and then once they've been owned by one manager, it's a completely unique ownership model. So once someone in your league owns a player, no one else can have them. Eventually, you finish with your squad of 23, so then each week you can use those players to either start or bench and rotate through who you actually want to play on any given week. The fact that you have this full bench, a reserve prop, hooker, lock, back row, scrum half, fly half, centre and outside back, means you get to make the decision on how you use that. You might use an active player in your bench just in case one of your starters goes down, so you've got someone to sub in. You might know that a player's coming back from injury in 3 weeks' time, and you're going in early and hard to make sure that you've got this key player for the rest of the season when they're back in. Or you might just be trying to use a trade chip against one of the other managers, so you're going to have an extra centre there, knowing that one of your competitors that you're not up against this week really needs a centre. Then you can offer them at that as a trading chip to try and pull in at a position that you might need that's more valuable to you. So there's so many ways to play the game, so many ways to build your team, and there's so many tactics on how you go in and about that. The initial draft is one of the most fun parts of the year. You obviously got to do that before your competition starts, and then each week you can make trades and rotate through how you construct your team. So you can make as many manager-to-manager trades, trading with mates to try and make sure that all of you have got good quality teams. You might do that as a very fair way, or you may do that in a way that's taking advantage of someone that maybe doesn't know the most about the competition as well. That's completely up to you. And then we also have the free agent trade. So each week you can make up to 5 free agent trades. So you might dump an injured player or someone that's out of form and pick up someone else that you think might make your team better. The end goal here is by playing this model of fantasy football, everything is more personal. You know, it means so much more when you're head-to-head against someone else rather than hoping that your few unique players in an old-school fantasy game make the difference against the whole world. You have that increased rivalry, which we know when we play these kind of sports, just adds so many layers. You got the bragging rights on the actual chats that are going back and forth week to week. And the biggest part is the engagement is so much more because you've got all these different tactics and you've got the rivalry. You're always trying to make trades with mates. You're always seeing, when are the injured players coming back? Can I try and get someone before someone else does? When's the right time to take a punt on this player that's coming into form? Or there's an international break week coming up and I need to make sure I cover my bench so then that way I can hold my international players. There are so many possibilities, and the more you get into it, the more you realise not only will it make you love the game more in rugby union itself, but also it makes you love every player, every team. I don't go for Moana Pacifica. I just love fantasy football, and having played it for Super Rugby for so many years, I had to go out there and get a jersey that I loved with so many players that I love playing in that side. So guys, really hope you get engaged with Draft Rugby this year. It's going to be the most fun thing you do, and you will be blown away by how much it just makes you love the game, rugby union, and really can't wait to see you all there. Thank you.